Hello and welcome back to Football Now in the YouTube channel, where we're going to be running you through this weekend's I can't get my words out. This weekend's round of Premier League. It's only the second one. This weekend's round of Premier League fixtures. This video is going to be focusing on Luton Town's hosting of Wolves at Kenilworth Road at 3 o'clock on Saturday. Before we get into the match itself, I want to remind everyone watching this video of Football Now's ongoing competition. Like, subscribe, drop your prediction in the comment section, not just on this video, on all the videos we're going to be doing. Focus on this weekend's game, and one lucky winner will win a football shirt of their choice. So get involved. Like I said, the more predictions you drop on each of the videos, the more likely you are to be that lucky winner. First of all, Connor, how are you doing?
When we reach 100, I think when we reach 100 subscribers, that's when we're going to announce the winner. So we're on about 50 now. So do get involved. That's Make sure you subscribe as well as comment.
That's it. Get us to 100, and then the winner will be announced. Connor, how are you doing before we look at today's game?
I'm doing good, yes. Arsenal 3-0 up on their return to the Champions League, 3-0 up and counting. It's half time. So, I'm expecting about 9 or 10. Sorry, I'm talking about unit goals that United are going to score tonight against United. Sorry.
I've got that up on now beyond my laptop here, and it doesn't look good for United. My heart bleeds from. Anyway, we'll get into this game here. We saw Luton at the weekend losing 1-0 to Fulham. They are back at home this weekend. Connor, we were talking about it off camera then. Just a crucial game for Luton this weekend, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I think it's a crucial game for both, to be honest. I think if Wolves was to lose this, I don't think it would bode well for the rest of the season, because these are the sort of games that they've got to be getting points. Because, Luton, they've not been good. They're the only team without a point this season. They are rock bottom. Although I do think I owe Luton an apology, because I did mention them in the same breath with Derby County last week. And I thought that they actually played okay against Fulham. So, I apologise there. I mean, the table doesn't look for great reading. Rock bottom have lost every game this season, although saying that they have played one less game than everybody else apart from Burnley. But yeah, I think they can take a lot of encouragement from the Fulham game. And I think, it's like 2.5 to 1 there you see on the screen for Luton to win 49-20. I actually think that's decent value. I've got a sneaking feeling that Luton might actually not only get their first few points at the weekend, but might get their first victory ever in the Premier League. So that's what I'm leaning towards there. I think certainly there's no value in Wolves. I think just over evens away from home. I know Luton are rock bottom, but I feel like with the performances of the two, I don't reckon there's enough there to justify a Wolves victory in this fixture. So maybe a draw or Luton, I think, is the value. Certainly, I would avoid Wolves. I think goals are a real struggle for both. We spoke about last week about Wolves have really struggled to put the ball in the back of the net for a long time now. Luton, you see there, they've only scored 2 goals this season, which is the lowest, along with Everton, in the Premier League. So that is something that has to be addressed. But I think when you come up to the Premier League, it's always going to be difficult, because you are playing against teams that, number one, are organised better, and two, they've just got better defenders. But that being said, Rob Edwards, Luton manager, has said that he's seen improvement in the performances of his side, and I do agree with him. So, yeah, I think this could be a special weekend for Luton. I think this could be one to remember.
Yeah. Like we said, I think we spoke last week how important the home games are for them as well. They've only got 2 goals this season so far, Luton, as well. And I think one of them was a penalty. So they need the strikers to start putting the ball in the back of the net. I'm just looking at the squad now. The likes of Colton Morris, Corley Woodrow, Elijah Adebayo. I think that they're relying on them. If you're going to stand any chance of surviving in this league, you do need someone to stick it away. I'm just looking at the injuries that Luton have got at the minute. I think Ross Barkley is currently being assessed for this weekend.
Yeah, he could come back.
And there's a couple more who are ruled out. Jordan Clark, Gabriel Osho, and Dan Potts. They're ruled out for this weekend. Not expected to return, until next month. If Luton weren't to win this game, I think we were speaking again there off camera, it doesn't, like you said, doesn't make pretty reading for them. Man United have just scored by the looks of it.
That's put a dampener on proceedings, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has, man. I just pulled one back to make it 2-1, still 2-1 to Bayern Munich. Anyway, back to Luton. If they do lose this game, I think you said this is the sort of game they'll be targeting to get the win and to put points on the board to keep them up.
Absolutely. I think if they lose this game, let's just get the next fixtures up now. I mean, they've got, if you look at sort of the next 3 games that they've got, hugely crucial. I think you could argue even this early on, it could determine their season. They've got Wolves obviously at home next. Wolves have only won 1 game this season, and that was against Everton. They've lost the others. And then speaking of Everton, they play Everton next at Goodison Park. Again, it's a team who in the relegation zone, right down there. And then the game after that is the other team in the relegation zone, which is Burnley at home. So you've got 3 hugely crucial games coming up. If Luton are going to stay in the Premier League, if they're going to get points on the board, these are the 3 games where you'll be getting those points. And I think if, just to get that confidence going, just to get that morale up, just to get that belief in the squad, I think they need to get some points on the board against Wolves, and then that will give them a real springboard for the next 2 games after that. But yeah, it's absolutely crucial that they get something, because then if you look after that, they've got Spurs, they've got Forest at the City Ground, then they've got Aston Villa away, then they've got Liverpool, then they've got Manchester United. So it gets a lot harder after that. So really crucial next 3 weeks there for Luton Town. And I do think they'll get something from this. I think it'll be a good weekend for them.
Gets a lot harder than they play Man United, so a bit of a chance of 3 points there. Anyway, let's talk about Wolves losing 3-1 at home to Liverpool. I think the first 45 minutes they were brilliant. They had plenty of chances to put the game to bed. Pedro Neto was running the show, collecting his 4th assist, I think, in 5 Premier League games this season. It was an incredible performance from them. They just seemed to drop off in the second half. They looked tired. There's a VAR review at the Allianz. Well, I'm not sure what.
It's what we've been saying, isn't it, with Wolves, that they just don't have people to put the ball in the back of the net. I mean, like you said, that game could have been done and buried in the first half. It could have been 2 and 3. But if you don't take your chances against a team as good as Liverpool, then you will get punished. And I think when Liverpool got 1, I think that was it. Because Liverpool were just pushing forward. And I think Luton, Wolves. It's strange to say this early on in the season, but they seemed a bit tired. They just seemed to drop off. And maybe those missed chances were playing on the mind, and maybe when Liverpool equalised, it was a bit disheartening, because in the mind they were thinking, "God, we really should have had a bigger buffer here." But yeah, it was a decent performance, but performances don't necessarily win games and get points on the board. Goals do, and they've lost 4 games this season and won the other one. So this is crucial for both. It really, really is. I think Gary O'Neill was unfortunate actually to get the boot from Bournemouth. I thought he did a really good job, especially he came in after a 9-0 defeat last season, and then I think a lot of people were surprised when he got moved on. But he's taken on a big job here with Wolves, and it does take time to settle. Obviously, we spoke about Lopetegui just before the Premier League season. Was sacked, left, mutual consent, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I think as a good manager, O'Neill, I think he knows what it takes to fight at the bottom, but you've got to turn those good performances into points.
Talking about points, Harry Kane has just put Bayern Munich 3-1 up from the penalty spot, so Man United's evening gets worse. We get back to Wolves. I think you said there earlier, performances don't necessarily win games. I think Wolves are the perfect team to look at that, really. The opening day, they put a great performance in against United, lose 1-0, thanks to a ridiculous VAR decision.
Yeah.
Obviously, they get the win at Everton. Lose to Crystal Palace away, but put a good showing in, and we've mentioned there the performance in the first half. At some point there, like you said, that does need to start translating into the results. They lost a lot of big names in the summer, like we mentioned last week: Moutinho, Neves, Nunes, Jimenez, Adama Traore, etc. Almost the old guards moved out. They do need now someone to step up, I think, and start putting them away. But I think, like we've mentioned there was plenty of positive points to take away from that defeat of the weekend. I thought Bellegarde on his Wolves debut was incredible, especially in that first half. We've mentioned Pedro Neto. Hwang has started the season well.
He has, yeah.
He's got a few goals.
I think that's where the international break helped. It was something we mentioned last week. When O'Neill came in, I think it was good to have that international break just to spend a little bit more time with his new squad, because he's new to the team, and then you got a lot of new players who have come in as well, like you've just mentioned. So yeah, I think that's helped. Just looking at their next game after this one in the Premier League, Manchester City. So it gets a lot harder, but if they can get something from this, then just to keep them away from that bottom three, then it'll be good, because against Manchester City, it doesn't really matter if you lose 5-0, which might be a bit of a defeatist attitude, but your season isn't going to be defined against Manchester City. That's just a fact. So this is the important one. Then it's a free roll next time.
Having said all of that, what's your prediction then, Connor, this weekend? What are you going for? I think you mentioned Luton.
I'm going to try and redeem myself with the Luton fans, and I'm going to drop all the nonsense of they could be in the Derby County conversation, and I'm going to say 1-0 victory for Luton.
I'm going to go the same as well. I think I went for a draw last weekend against Fulham and didn't quite turn out that way. But yeah, I'm the same as you, optimistic they can get something this weekend, get their first points on the board, and hopefully for their sake kickstart their season in the Premier League. That concludes our look at Luton Town's home match against Wolves this weekend. I think it was a 3 o'clock kickoff. 3 o'clock at Kenilworth Road. Before we go, final reminder of what I mentioned at the start of the video. Football Now will be running an ongoing competition up until the point we get 100 subscribers. So subscribe, drop your predictions in the comment section for all the videos that we do for this weekend's round of fixtures. One lucky winner will get a football shirt of their choice. Get involved. Like I said, the more videos you comment on with your predictions, the more likely you are to win. So good luck to everyone. And like I said, share the video, get it going. The sooner we hit 100 subscribers, the sooner you will get your prize. So see you in the next one.